Hello and welcome to the video. I'm Jay, and it's time again for this month's half marathon training update, where I've been using AI generated training plans to prepare me for the Great North Run later this year. Now I know a lot of my followers aren't here for this kind of content, they're here for gaming and tech, so I apologise. I promise these won't last too much longer. I've got a couple more before the event takes place in September, and then I promise they're done. If you have any ideas for something content related I could make during the run, then let me know in the comments. It's 13 miles, I'll have a phone and probably some sort of audio equipment, so let me know. We'll start this week's updates by talking about the various week-by-week breakdowns that I normally provide. And then at the end, I'm going to touch on some of the metrics and how my body has changed over the last couple of months as a result of all the training that I've been doing. So let's hand straight over to Jay from the past, which is also me because this is pre-recorded, but you get what I mean, even further past, to give you the weekly updates. So, week 9 update, bit of a breakthrough, managed to do 8 miles today, which is the first time I've run 8 miles since 2016 when I finished the London Marathon and then just basically stopped training. Last year I got to about 7 I think before I had the calf injury, so that's a bit of a breakthrough. Other than that, this week I did another short 4 mile run, didn't do the 2 runs this week, just again diary commitments meaning that I couldn't get them all in around travel. But 4 and an 8 I'm really pleased with. No pains other than the usual expected aches. My calves feel absolutely fine, so I'm going to give them a good stretch and then we'll see how we get on. But for week 9 I'm pretty happy with that. Next week again it's going to be a bit of a broken week just because of travel, but I'm hoping to do 9 miles next weekend, so I'll see you then. Cheers. Okay, that's week 10 done. Didn't do the 9 miles today. Had a pretty heavy weekend with some birthday celebrations and a long week travelling for work, so kept it pretty straightforward this week. Did a 5 mile run, tried to do a bit faster on the treadmill just to see if I could sustain a higher pace for the full period. I also managed a 4 mile run while away in London, so not the perfect week by any stretch, but things are still going well, still remain injury free, so here we plough on. Next week I shall try and pick those longer distances up again, and I think both the midweek runs also go up, so we'll see how that goes. See you next week. Wow, okay, that's the end of week 11 and it was rough today. I did 9 miles, it really hurt. Literally the first mile my legs were in agony, really rough. I think it wasn't helped by the fact that last week I did my first 5 mile midweek run, which is the first time they've gone kind of up to the next level, which is the highest I'll go now, but I think it's like 4s and 5s, twice a week, and then the long run. So I did 5 miles on Friday and then 9 miles today, and my legs were not happy. I mean, literally from the minute I got on the road, I could feel it. But I got it done. It wasn't fast by any stretch, but I've kind of given up thinking that it's going to be. I'm just really in this to complete it now, and to complete it in kind of, it's going to be sort of between 11 and 12 minute mile averages is what I'm after. So it's all done. On to the next week, we'll see how we get on. But I think the pain over the next couple of days after this one is going to be immense. But no injuries, so touch wood, we carry on. Okay, so that is the end of week 12. Future editor James can correct that if that's wrong. 10 miles today, and it was rough. Better than last week. So what I did this week to try and change it up a little bit was, instead of the 2 runs in the week, I ran on Wednesday, which was a 4 mile run, and then when I was due to run on Friday, which I couldn't do anyway due to diary commitments, I took the break, gave my legs a rest just to make sure that I wasn't struggling from the very start this time. Started out on the 10 miles, did the first 7 to 8 relatively comfortably. Mile 9 started to feel it through the legs a little bit, and mile 10 was pretty tough, to be honest. But I got through it, and it was my fastest average pace so far. Not speedy at all, but I'm around that 11 minute mark now across the whole 10 mile run. So I'm pretty pleased with that. So we'll go again into next week. Still got a little bit more to do in terms of distance. I think we've got 11, 12 and then eventually 13 to try and get in, although that does fall while I'm on holiday, so we'll see how that works. And then we're tapering. Yeah, we're getting there in terms of the meaty stuff. Gonna keep going, and yeah, we'll see how the next few weeks go. And that brings us to week 13, which is now. Now I'm obviously not sweating or in gym gear, so this isn't a post-run recording, and I haven't done a long run this weekend. It should have been 9 miles today. I did 10 miles last week, and to be honest, it really took it out of my legs, so I decided to take a bit of a rest. I had a 70th birthday for my dad this weekend as well, so I just thought I'd take that opportunity to give my body a bit of a break. I did manage a run in the week just to kind of keep the legs moving, but it was a short one at 4 miles. And then next week the intensity is kind of going up, so we've got 11 miles to do next weekend, as well as I think the actual in-week runs are going from 4 and 5 to 5 and 6, which I think is the highest they go now. So 5 miles and 6 miles in the week, and then 11 on Sunday. So we'll see how I get on with that. But I thought what I would do today is just reflect back to kind of where I started this journey a couple of months ago and where I am now, and sort of talk you through some of the changes that I've seen through my bio app. So I'm just going to launch the app, and I'll bring that up on screen as well. So as you can see, my bio age has changed from kind of April, where we first started this process. I was 56 at the time. I'm now showing as 53, which is positive. So things are going in the right direction at least. It is going to be slow progress, and that's not going to come down quickly. And I probably never will get it back to in line with my actual age. I suspect they'll just hopefully go closer, perhaps over time. So I'll go into the metabolism breakdown, and I can talk you through some of the changes that I've seen. So I think the biggest one, and we'll start with the weight. Let me just skim through and find my total weight. There it is. So my total weight at the moment is 112.1 kilos, and you'll notice that that's gone up, which was a little bit of a surprise to me. I must admit, I was really hoping that with all the running I was doing now compared to no running back in April, that wouldn't be the case, that I'd be seeing those numbers come down. But it's not a bad thing. So I've gained, in the region of about 2 kilos, so 4 pounds-ish, give or take. But if we look at how that breaks down, so if I come back up towards the top, and we look at my overall body fat, so you can see 29.7 kilos, but you can see that has dropped from between 31 and 31.5. So not again a huge drop, maybe a kilo or so of body fat has come away, so a couple of pounds. But I've gone up 2 kilos. So how does that work? Well, it certainly appears to be muscle mass, which I'm very happy about. So if I just flick through and look at my fat-free mass, you'll see that's gone up by a similar sort of number, so from 79 to kind of between 82 and 83 now. And then if we look specifically at, I think it's my legs where it's gone on the most, unsurprisingly I guess, is my legs. And you can see again from April, my left and right leg, the left leg was clearly weaker. It's gotten a bit closer to the right leg in terms of muscle mass, but both have gone up, and that would make sense because my left leg, I don't think I've talked about this before, but I did tear a knee ligament many years ago, so my left leg's always been a little bit weaker as a result. I've always sort of struggled with sort of knee pain and ankle pain, and that's also the leg that I injured the calf on last summer. So it looks like both the legs have, as I say, gained a kilo or so each of muscle. So I'm not too disappointed. Body shape is definitely changing, clothes are feeling a little bit looser, but most importantly, the running is getting more comfortable. When I look back to where I was in April, and I was running, over a weekend, 3 miles and then 4 miles and then 5 miles, and building up those distances, it felt like really hard work. That last mile always seems to be the chore, but that 3, 4 and 5 was really hard work. Now, those are my in-week runs, and they're comfortable. And the long runs of a weekend now, we're talking about 7, 8, 9 and now 10 miles in my most recent run. So it's getting better all the time. I'm definitely seeing the benefits. I feel better in myself. I don't think I've shared too much on this before. I mentioned in my opening video that I'm a type 2 diabetic. I've recently started monitoring that much more closely. I bought the Freestyle Libre systems, those alarm tags that go on and kind of give you live data. If you're interested in that, or if you're a diabetes sufferer and you want to know more about those, I'd be happy to give you my experiences. I'm no expert, but I can talk you through what I've been using those for. So let me know in the comments if that's of use to you, and I'm more than happy to share. Very open about this stuff. So there we go. So I'm a couple of kilos heavier than I was at the start of this journey, which is a bit of a surprise. If you told me that a few months ago, I might have been disappointed. But as I stand here right now, I'm definitely not. I feel the best I've felt in a long time. physically. I've got a couple more months to go, so I've got a few more longer runs to get to gain miles on over the next couple of weeks, and then we've got a tapering period through August before the event takes place in September. So fingers crossed that things keep going well. I'm staying injury free. I am being really mindful of my calves. They do sort of tighten up, but not any worse now than sort of general muscle ache I get everywhere after a run, which I think is partly due to my age as well. So fingers crossed we'll be in shape for September and we stay injury free. That is always the most important thing. I'll keep these updates coming for those who are watching. I know there's a few who do like them, but I apologise again. As I said at the start, if you're here for the gaming content, I know this isn't that, but I will get back to more of that as well in the future. Hang around for the next video because it is a RetroQuest episode. It's Buck Bumble on the Nintendo 64, which was actually requested by a viewer. So thank you, Keith, for that one. Keep an eye out for that when it launches next week. But that's it for today. Thank you for joining me for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.